Welcome to our channel. I'm Kristen with Decorator's Warehouse, your source for all things Christmas content and all the decor needed to make your holiday home this Christmas. So today I'm going to be walking you through our 4-step process to create a beautifully elegant, traditionally themed Christmas tree. And if you like everything that you see here today, this is going to be one of our platinum themed bundles. So we're actually doing a platinum bundle with 3 color variations. Regardless of the bundle that you purchase, use these techniques and just make simple swaps with the colors to create this look. So our first step of the process is going to be our tree topper. This is a very important step to creating the polish in your tree. For the topper, on the red and green and platinum version, we're going to use 4 different stems. So 2 sprays, you want height and different textures. And then we're also going to use 2 florals, which are going to be these 2 here. So the stems are going to kind of come up off the top, and then the florals are going to create kind of a cap and a transition into the body of your tree. Now on our platinum bundles, there's going to be pieces that are in every single variation, all of our platinum specific pieces, and then we're just going to change out colors to create almost an identical look, but with a different theme or different color scheme. So that's red and green. And now I'm going to show you the metallics version of our platinum bundle. If you're doing the Natural Elegance version of our platinum bundle, you're still going to have these 2 pieces, but we're also going to add in this floral, really pretty kind of silver toned, and then we're going to add in this one as well. It's like a matte platinum silver berry. If you're doing the navy variation of this tree, again, we're going to have the same platinum leaf, the same platinum floral, and then we're going to add in the navy variation and the navy pick to create the topper. For this topper, I'm using a 9-foot tree, and I'm basically going to take these 4 stems and I'm going to replicate it 3 times. So 1 on the front and then kind of 1 on each side, starting with the stems. I like this leaf first because it's a little bit bulkier. I like to start with the bulk or the meat of the topper and then add the stems around it. So this is going to run straight down the pole, right in the front. And then this one is going to go kind of a little bit behind it, but again, straight down. Everything's wired, so you can pull these out and kind of get the shape that you like. And you can use the branches of the tree itself to wrap around the stem to hold it in place. Now I'm going to repeat this exact same thing 2 more times. If you have a 7.5-foot tree, you're going to have 2 of these. If you have a 12-foot tree, you're going to do this 5 times. Okay, once my stems are placed, I'm going to come in with the florals and create a little bit of a cap right at the base of this. So all the bundles will have this one, and then you're just going to switch out the other one for whatever the color of your bundle is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run kind of straight and then angle the head a little bit out towards your guest. And my other one I'm going to place just a little bit lower so they're not on the same plane. And then I'm going to repeat this around the base of the topper. The next step is my favorite, ribbon. I adore ribbon. It's just great and it makes such a difference on your tree. So we're going to be partnering 2 ribbons for this bundle. This is going to be the base. I always like to use a textured ribbon as the base when layering. So this will be in all of the platinum bundles. And then this is going to be the main ribbon we use for the red variation. This will be the main ribbon for the metallics or the Natural Elegance variation. And then this is the main ribbon for the navy variation. Now 2 of the bundles are going to have an accent ribbon, which is what we use to just kind of fill in holes. So this is the accent ribbon, which I'm just going to set aside and pull out at the very end of the bundle. And then this one will go into the navy bundle. Okay, so this one is actually a 5-yard roll. So all the other ones are 10-yard rolls. I'm going to use 6 of this 5-yard roll in this 9-foot tree, and then 3 of all of the other ribbons that are 10 yards. So basically what I'm going to do, I like to let this kind of drop to the floor. Same with this, I'm going to layer the 2 together. And I'm going to place my textured ribbon on the back side. And I'm gonna create kind of a little bow to tuck into the pocket right here. And then I'm gonna go into a series of loops and tails throughout the tree. So I'm gonna create a little tail right here. And this is a nice heavy wired ribbon, which is wonderful. It'll be one that you can use for years to come, and it's gonna hold its shape really nicely in the tree. So basically I've created a loop, and then you want to do a hard twist. So you want it to go all the way around. And what that does, it brings the pretty side back to the front. And then I'm gonna create another loop. You want your loops to be the same size, so I always kind of, pull them up just to make sure they are. And if not, you can kind of maneuver them to get them to be the same length. And then again, I want to do a hard twist there. See how pretty. We're gonna just tuck that in right there. We're gonna open up a couple branches, and we're basically just tucking it in, and then we're gonna wrap the branches around it to hold it in place. Then you wanna fluff up your bow and make that nice and full. And now we're gonna go into a series of loops. So the great thing about wired ribbon is it really kind of does what you want it to do. So my trick on ribbon, you do cut it, and I cut every couple loops just to give you some control of where it's going. So I'm gonna kind of let this fall however, I'm just gonna look at it and see how I like it, but I think this looks kind of pretty right here where it swoops in. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm going to, again, use the branches of the tree to wrap that around. And then I'm gonna pull it loose a little bit. We don't want it too tight. And then just open it up a little bit there. So you're getting both ribbons. And then I'm gonna go into a second loop. So again, instead of going right underneath, I'm gonna pull it a little bit to the other side. I'm going down 1 to 2. This is 2 rows down on my Christmas tree. And I'm gonna use the branches again to hold it in place. And for this one, I'm gonna pull the texture to the other side. And then I am going to cut a tail. So for my tail, I just cut at an angle about 6 to 8 inches long. I know it's scary to cut your ribbon, but don't be scared. It'll be worth it, I promise. Then you can just kind of open that up. Again, it's wired, so you can kind of place it however you like. I'm basically gonna repeat this process all the way around the tree. Sometimes I'll put, a small loop in any series of places. So I might do a small loop here in the middle. Sometimes I'll do like a small loop on the end. Sometimes I might do 2 loops at the end, kind of like what we did here. But the key is really just look at your tree as you go and kind of feel out what you think it needs. Sometimes towards the bottom of the tree, when I don't have a long, or when I don't have a big area of tree, I might do a smaller variation, maybe like a tail, a bigger loop, and a smaller loop. So just kind of play it by ear, but the key is smaller runs and series of loops. They can be big loops, small loops, and tails. So for this one, I'm going to do a small loop at the top. So I've got a tail, a small loop, and I'll go ahead and tuck that in. So I'm kind of coming to the midpoint of that first run. And y'all, never waste ribbon. Like, if you take nothing away from this video, take this away. So my 5-yard roll, I had this one little strip. I'm gonna hold that to the end because I can literally just tuck in a small tail and that will create some color and dimension into your tree. So those are great fillers. So if you get to the end and you have some left over, just hang on to it. Step 3 of my 4-step process is Florals and Sprays. This is the layer where it really starts to take shape. The first thing we're gonna do for this layer is create what I call floral clusters. So essentially I'm using 2 sprays. I have pretty much the same ones I used in the topper, but I have a leaf, kind of a berry, and then 2 florals. So again, if you have one of the platinum bundles, you're purchasing one of the kits, you're gonna get the 2 champagne, and then if you have one of the other variations like the navy one, you're just gonna switch out the colored floral and the colored spray. Let me show you what those look like. So this one here is the metallic, so you'll switch out this berry and this floral. And then this one is the navy. So those are our clusters. I'm gonna use essentially 1 per foot of tree. So that's not counting the topper. In the body of the tree itself, I'm gonna use 9 clusters in this 9-foot tree. Now, if you have a 12-foot tree, because your base is so much wider, you might go up a little bit. We use about 14 in our bundles. So when placing them, I'm gonna start kind of near the top, and I'm gonna zigzag through the tree. And then I'll come in with some single stem florals and sprays and kind of place them opposite the clusters. So since the stems are so long, I don't want that to pop out the back side of the tree, so I'm just gonna fold it in a little bit and then just kind of run it, along the branch. You want these to cascade down, and then I'm gonna take the greenery of the tree itself and wrap it into place. You're gonna angle the heads of the florals out in different directions as well. Once my clusters are placed, I'm now gonna work on my single stem florals. So this gorgeous mesh platinum one is gonna be in all 3 bundles, and then I'm gonna use these for this color variation. I will have these 2 for the metallics variation, and this for the navy. I'm using 9 pieces per style on this 9-foot tree. So basically 1 per foot of the tree, and then 14 on the 12-foot. The key here is we are now gonna work 1 style at a time, and we're gonna place them between where we have our clusters. So kind of in that zigzag formation again, but working in between what we have placed. I'm gonna start with this green one just to break it up since I have a lot of red going on here, and then I'll go into the next style. Okay, once all of my single stem florals are placed, we're gonna come in with some single stem sprays. So this is what gives your tree dimension and texture and really makes it take a new life. So we're gonna use both of these in all 3 bundles. And then if you have the red variation, we're also gonna add in this real pretty leaf. And then if you have the metallic variation, you'll have this in addition to the other 2. And then if you have the navy variation, you're gonna have these 2 navy sprays. And remember, we only had 1 single stem flower, so we have a couple extra, or 1 extra spray for the navy variation. So basically what we're gonna do is just come in 1 spray at a time. Again, I'm using 1 per foot of tree, so I'll have 9 of each of these. And again, I'm just gonna kind of place them in between where I still have holes and working kind of in that zigzag formation. And we're just gonna slide it along the pole. I like to use the branches and wrap it in. And then like this one's so nice and big and airy, so you kind of just wanna open it up to create. See how you have a lot of dimension in that area now? But we'll continue that throughout the tree. The 4th and final step of our 4-step process is the finishing touches of the ornaments. We like to use a series of balls in different sizes and different textures, and then a few more specialized ornaments that go on the outer edges of the branches. So for the platinum bundle, these 2 balls are gonna be in all variations, and then these are the ones that we're gonna pair with the platinum for the red and green bundle. These will be for the metallic bundle, and then this will be for the navy bundle. So again, we've just got different sizes, different textures, and then working at odd numbers, so 5s, 7s, 9s of each piece is generally a good way to go. These are called shatterproof, and they're a great foundation to your tree because you can tuck them deeper into the tree to conceal the pole. So I'm gonna start with these, I'm gonna place all of them, and then I'll come back with my more specialized ones and pull those out to the outer part of the branch. Well, thank you for joining us. That concludes our 4 steps, which were topper, ribbon, florals and sprays, and ornaments. We hope that you learned a lot and are able to adapt these techniques to your style, your home, and your preferences. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube, so hit subscribe. And you can see us online at www.decoratorswarehouse.com. Merry Christmas!